So one of the biggest mistakes that we'll see a new surfer do is they'll start with the wrong board. They'll see a surfer out there in the water who's very, very high performance, someone who's usually riding a shortboard, which is around the same size as their height, and a board that's very thin, very narrow, and they're completely ripping. And they'll rightly think, that's my goal, I want to surf like that. But the assumption for them is, in order to surf like that, I need to get that board. So you'll see a lot of new surfers that get a very chippy, narrow, high-performance shortboard that a pro could ride, but it's not suited for a beginner rider. What this will do is aid in tons of discouragement. You'll see a lot of surfers give up surfing and they'll realize, I can't catch waves, it's impossible to pop up, surfing is just not my sport. So the main goal in sharing this information with you is to save you time, save you money, and help you build the right foundation so that you can eventually become the surfer that you want to be. What that foundation will look like for you is having a board that is very stable, very wide, and nice and long. The general rule of thumb is a board that's about 3 feet taller than your height. Usually that's around a 9-foot board for the standard surfer, and a board that's also very thick and wide. So our Ultimate Longboard is a great example of this. It's 9 feet by 23 inches wide, which is a great amount of width for stability. And then it is 3 inches thick. The thickness is gonna aid in the buoyancy of the board. You'll also want to make sure that that board has a good amount of rocker. Waves themselves are certainly not flat, and if you're taking a flat surfboard and you're a new surfer, you're guaranteed to nosedive, get a complete face full of water. So you want a board with rocker, which refers to the curvature of the board, that will allow you to get down the line, make a takeoff without nosediving. The last element as well that you want to look for in getting your first surfboard is making sure that that board is a soft deck board. The reason, number one, is the durability. A brand new surfer usually likes to ride the board into the sand. You might unfortunately collide with other surfers. You might hit the board yourself. And that board is not very durable if it's going to be a poly construction board. But if you get a soft deck board, those are generally way more durable. It'll last you longer. If you ride into the sand, it's not as big of a deal. The second big element of that is safety. You're gonna aid in so much confidence if you can master surfing on that soft deck board. You're a lot less prone for injury. It'll make surfing just plenty more of an enjoyable experience for you. And you'll also be keeping other surfers safe in the water, say you should lose your board. Now, at this point, once you've built this foundation, surfing becomes a lot more fun because you can choose your lane. What I mean by that is you can choose the type of surfer you want to be based on the next board that you are going to be choosing. You might want to stay a longboard surfer, but there's a couple different avenues for you. Number one, you might want to be a high performance longboarder. So this board is like our Ultimate Longboard in the epoxy and next gen epoxy construction. It's a very lightweight, durable construction, built to turn with precision off the lips for carves, and even for some steeper waves. It'll allow you to manage that longboard well. You might also want to be a classic longboarder. A classic longboarder takes tons of skill as well. Even though the board is very stable, those boards could be up to 10 feet. It's all about what you're doing on the wave that is the beauty of longboard classic surfing. Think pocket rides, nose rides, cross-stepping, drop knee turns, a lot of different things that might be the avenue for you, so your next board might be one of them. You might also want to be a high-performance shortboarder or mid-length surfer. At that point, your next board will be a mid-length. A mid-length is a board within the range of 6'6" to 8'6". And that board will be a bit more maneuverable, but still buoyant enough for you to be able to catch waves and surfing isn't so frustrating for you. Once you've mastered the mid-length, then you can move to a much shorter board. You could go with a fish, and a fish surfboard is a swallow-tailed surfboard that is very, very fast, very maneuverable. Or you might go with a high-performance shortboard those have tons of control and precision. Those are great in bigger, more critical waves. So we hope that this has been helpful for you in choosing the right surfboard. If you have other questions, please feel free to give us a call. You can look us up at degree33surfboards.com. Thank you.